This video contains a collection of verses from the Wisdom of Sirach found in the original King James Version Bible. I will share the video with others, but I thought it would be profitable to me personally in helping me gain a humble and insightful perspective on how to best live life here on earth and preparing for Judgment Day. I went through the entire book and saved a diversity of my favorite verses from the book, which I will share here and add commentary where needed. Here are some powerful verses about God. He that liveth forever hath created all things in general. He declareth the things that are past and for to come, and revealeth the steps of hidden things. No thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him. He hath garnished the excellent works of his wisdom. He is from everlasting to everlasting. Unto him may nothing be added, neither can he be diminished. He hath no need of any counselor. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. He knew all things before ever they were created. Also, after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. Sirach 2. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set your heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. This passage reveals the true path of great men of God. Joseph and David being two good examples. Lots of hardships in life, but persevered till God finally lifted them up. Here are some passages about the certain attitudes we should have towards money. Set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. Again, say not, I have enough, and possess many things, and what evil shall I have hereafter? When thou hast enough, remember the time of hunger, and when thou art rich, think upon poverty and need. Health and a good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others, that shall spend his goods righteously. To labor and to be content with that a man hath is a sweet life, but he that findeth a treasure is above them both. There's he that waxeth rich by his weariness and pinching, and this is the portion of his reward. Whereas he saith, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods, and yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, that he must leave those things to others and die. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord, and abide in thy labor, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. Here are some passages about being promoted. It starts with prayer. A prayer out of a poor man's mouth reacheth to the ears of God, and his judgment cometh speedily. He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayers shall reach unto the clouds. The prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds till it come nigh, and he will not be comforted, and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously and execute judgment. There is one that laboureth and taketh pains and maketh haste, and is so much more behind. Again, there is another that is slow and hath need of help, wanting ability, and full of poverty, Yet the eye of the Lord looked upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. Prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches come of the Lord. Boast not of thy clothing and raiment, and exalt not thyself in the day of honor. For the works of the Lord are wonderful, and his works among men are hidden. Many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of hath worn the crown. Here are a few verses about friendship. Forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to him. A new friend is as new wine. When it is old, thou shalt drink it with pleasure. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Here are verses about giving. And stretch thine hand unto the poor, that thy blessing may be perfected. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold. Shut up alms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. My son, according to thy ability do good to thyself, and give the Lord his due offering. Remember that death will not be long in coming, and the covenant of the grave is not showed unto thee. This last part, I believe it means we just don't know when we're going to die. Before judgment, examine thyself, and in the day of visitation thou shalt find mercy. Here are verses that warns us. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned, but he that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life. Give not thy soul unto a woman, to set her foot upon thy substance. Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall unto her snares. Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman, and look not upon another's beauty, for many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire. Sit not at all with another man's wife, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desire thou fall into destruction. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For the Lord is long-suffering, he will in no wise let thee go. Concerning appropriation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin, and say not, his mercy is great, he will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. Here's a kind passage about obtaining a good wife. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men? He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down, mourning. Here are two more passages that I also found very valuable. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. And above all this, pray to the Most High, that he will direct thy way in truth. This verse tells us of the importance of going within and listening to our heart or intuition when faced with decisions. The last verses I will cover turns our attention to the afterlife. The number of a man's days at the most are 100 years. As a drop of water unto the sea, and a gravel stone in comparison of the sand, so are 1,000 years to the days of eternity. Humble thyself greatly, for the vengeance of the ungodly is fire and worms. Here are some verses about entering into infinite pleasures in the afterlife, but this time the verses are taken directly from the prophets, Isaiah and Psalms. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. For since the beginning of the world men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither hath the eye seen, O God, beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waiteth for him. The three religions I respect most is Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, the Abrahamic faith. I am a Christian, and I fully accept the Nicene and Apostles' Creed. God is one. Jesus is of one substance with God. Jesus fully held the law and the prophets as the final authority. Isaiah 53 predicted his sacrifice. Daniel 9 says that Messiah will be cut off, but not for himself, which also meant that Messiah truly arrived during the 70 weeks timeline, roughly 2,000 years ago.